I was not expecting to have this much fun. I've reviewed quite a few blasters for Zhenduo. They're good pals of mine, great company. They've treated me very well with all my orders, and all my viewers that have ordered from them always came back with some very good experiences dealing with them. Early November, they reached out to me and they were like, "Not enough. You haven't reviewed any of our blasters in a while. What can we send you? What do you want to review?" And I told them, surprise me this time. And they were like, "No, for real, like pick." And I was like, okay, if you insist. I started noticing these little disc launchers that actually started coming out recently by a company named JF Electric. Dr. Flux actually showcased one not too long ago, the P90 version. When I went to their site and see what they had, I noticed that they have these M4 looking ones that looked really, really cool. I was like, you know what? I've played around with a lot of kinds of ammo lately, but this new disc type seems very interesting. I want to try it out. So I was like, hey, how about that one? And make sure you don't send me the other red one with the black. Send me the one with the blue and the yellow. It's a little safe as can be. So they were like, all right, we're shipping it off to you. And then about 3 weeks later, it showed up. This is the JF Electric. JF is short for Jiangfeng, which is the Chinese company that manufactures this. M416. They call it the soft flyer, but it has a lot of names. I like calling it a disc blaster, but a lot of people call it disc launcher. Whatever, it doesn't matter. JF Electric is a pretty high-end Chinese manufacturer of blasters. This is one of the things they make. I wasn't expecting much going into this. However, I learned something that I did not know about these earlier, and it resulted in me getting the maximum performance out of this, and we're gonna get into that. All I gotta tell you guys is I'm blown away by the initial impression that I got of this blaster. From the looks to the intricate details on it, to the performance, to the aesthetic, just the overall physical appeal that this blaster has. And then just when I finally figured out how to work around the mechanism of how this thing operates properly, I was extremely floored, if we're gonna be honest. Let's take it back to when I received the box. I'm gonna take you through the whole unboxing because I know you guys like to see what exactly comes in the box, how it comes presented, how it comes packaged. I know that's important to a lot of us, including myself. We're gonna go through that process. Then I'm gonna take you through a couple of features that I found very interesting on this blaster, and then we're gonna take it to the firing range. We're gonna get a little bit of grouping, we're gonna get a little bit of plinking, some chrono, and then I'm gonna give my lasting impressions. Let's get on with it. All right, guys, we got this nice little decorated box. Got a silhouette of the blaster here. What appears to be some basic assembly instructions here, some battery diagrams. Let's open the box up and see what we got. Got our user manual right here with basic illustrations on how to put the blaster together. Most of it is in Chinese. If you ever put a Lego set together, pictures are worth 1,000 words, and these are pretty depicting. Here we got the core blaster. We have the stock, what appears to be a rear sight. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a front sight, probably buried in here somewhere. Seems to be some kind of a barrel attachment. Magazine, 2S14500 Li-ion battery with a balance charger. Safety glasses with white frames, very cool. 2 of these ammo cylinders, 30 discs each. A cool electronic sight, and you got your front muzzle assembly. Looks like this piece goes into this one, just like that. If you ever want to release it, all you have to do is slide this to one side and it comes off very easily. Now your extended muzzle piece looks like it's just press fit into your barrel like that. Pretty straightforward. Magazine holds 2 stacks of discs. Switch here for auto and for semi-automatic. Doesn't have a safety switch that I can see. Mag release is on this side of the blaster right here. Does not gravity drop. It's a pretty good friction fit, probably for better security for the kind of ammo we're dealing with. And the stock attaches in a twist lock way, very similar to N-Strike. It is a telescoping stock. That is refreshing to see. A lot of higher performance blasters don't even come with this feature. 5 position at that as well. I realize that this sight goes on the front. It is not collapsible, but it could be used to line up the sight picture with this optical sight, even though this optical sight does see over that sight. So it's kind of useless. I'm not sure why they included this and not a rear sight, or maybe I do have it and it's just laying around here somewhere. Battery fits into the handle with an SM-4P connector. I'm very familiar with these connectors. I use these connectors on the 2S batteries that I sell with the nailers because the batteries themselves are very reliable. They're easy to transport and they're easy to balance charge with any USB charger. So that's really convenient to use. there doesn't seem to be a rev trigger, so it seems to be some kind of a system where when you press the trigger, it pre-revs the flywheels and pushes the discs into the flywheels. This is a flywheel disc powered blaster. Very interesting design. I have yet to see how the mechanism all works, but I'm pretty sure it's something pretty neat. All right, guys, briefly before we move on, I thought I'd mention how loading is done. It's pretty straightforward and easy. You just grab discs and push them in here. You can do one at a time, or you can just put stacks of them in here at a time like this. It seems to hold a whole bunch of discs on one side, probably about 1.5 of these, so I would say about 45 discs. It doesn't specify that on the mag, but I would say at least 45 discs per side here. On this side, I've entered all 30 that were available on this cylinder, and there's still room for about 10 more, so at least about 40 or 45 discs on each stack. That's pretty cool to see capacity wise. And there's your blaster assembled, guys. This is an actual electronic sight. You've probably seen this on a lot of blasters like the Phoenix Carbine from Zhenduo. It is a push button to turn it on, and then you have this nice green lit reticle. It might appear faint because this is a bright room, but yes, that is a green lit reticle right there. It is double lens, so this one actually adds a little bit more of the holographic effect. I really appreciate that. Now, this muzzle was a lot longer. It normally sits about 6 or 7 inches outside of the muzzle. I didn't like it too much, so I actually shortened it. This right here gives it what I would justify is the perfect length for this blaster. Gives it more of that SBR operator style M4 aesthetic. However, the following is a warning that I think warrants itself. That is, make sure you either shrink wrap this in some bright orange or get somebody to design some kind of 3D printed version of this, because this is extremely dangerous. If you're plinking inside the house and everybody knows what this is, that's okay. But if you're gonna go out into a public park and start operating this thing, it's not the best recommendation. All that aside, I'm really pleased with the SBR look, the shortened muzzle. This muzzle doesn't do anything other than just look cool. I figured shortening it would only help, if any. Another crazy thing that is also added to this blaster is an actual buffer tube stock. It does have 5 sling points for those long arm people like me. Pretty sturdy. I couldn't collapse it no matter how much I pressed on it. What I like about this is it allows you to set your eye relief to use the hollow side in a comfortable orientation. Believe it or not, this side is actually useful on this blaster because it's extremely accurate for a disc launcher. I'm extremely surprised if I have not said that already. You're about to see in the next couple of frames exactly why. Let's just say that this is something I was not expecting. I actually had the box sitting in a queue of reviews. You guys know that I have a lot of blasters to review. I did mention that in my last video. This is one of about 5 blasters that I have to get to. I usually review my blasters in the order in which I got them from the manufacturer, so this was next on the list, and I didn't see it coming. Let's go through some testing. You guys are gonna see why this thing is so impressive, and then I'm gonna give my lasting impression. Let's get it, guys. So when you first get this blaster, you're gonna think the performance is so-so, because the first thing instinctually you wanna do when you just see a trigger and no rev button is just to pull the trigger all the way and see what comes out, right? However, this is a 2-stage trigger. So if you press it a certain amount, it's just gonna rev the flywheels and not push the discs into the flywheels. This is very essential, especially in semi-automatic mode, because you can get the maximum amount of velocity for this blaster. I'm gonna show you right now how it works. You basically push the trigger, and it's not until you go all the way back that it'll fire a dart. And I really like that. I love these little discs. They're a little bit more quirky than the spongy foam that you find on darts. They're a little bit stiff, but just bendy the right amount. I don't know why, they just work. They fire straight. Of course, you have a couple of outliers every once in a while that catches some kind of pre-spin up on the flywheels, kind of goes by the wayside, but for the most part, these things just hits lasers one behind another. I am really happy with it. I actually have to go to my girlfriend's tonight. I told her, we're gonna make a mess in your place tonight. tonight. Just giving you a fair warning because we're gonna be firing the JF Electric M416 at a lot of things around the house. The discs are pretty harmless. They don't really sting that hard. It's still very effective. It's like a combination of darts and Vortex because it does have that glide characteristics, but since it doesn't have any concavity on the bottom of the disc, it's solid, so it does pierce the air a little bit better and a little bit faster than Vortex. It's like a hybrid ammo. It carries the characteristic of a fast projectile like the half-length dart, but it also carries the flight and glide characteristic of a disc. It's incredible. The first thing I did after I brought this out of the box and started playing with it, I called Zhenduo and I was like, how can I get more ammo? My viewers are gonna want more ammo because they are not gonna be able to put this thing down. Right now it's on sale. I think $59.99 is a normal price. Remember guys, with the code NNN, you get 12% off any order, even if it's on sale. So if you want to get it off MSRP, 12% off of that. If you want to wait for a sale, it'll be 12% on top of the sale. You cannot beat this. I'm telling you right now, this thing is a thrill ride. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this freaking thing. I can see myself continuing to play with this thing for a long time. I see this like a multi-role kind of blaster. It has the capability to strike targets at a distance with the semi-automatic mode as long as you let the flywheels rev a decent amount. It's also great for HVZ. If you're being swarmed by a horde of zombies, you just pop this baby into full auto. Not the fastest rate of fire, but you could just let loose about 40 discs at a time if you have to, just to clear the area of zombies. It's absolutely incredible. You're gonna be as surprised as I was once you check out this product. I highly recommend it. I know that at first, at a glance, you guys might be like, oh, but it's discs, it's non-conventional, it's not easy to get. Like I said, I contacted Zhenduo and I told them we're gonna need a lot of ammo. So they told me, no problem. We sell these in 30 packs. You could buy as many as you need. Go on sale pretty often as well. Guys, I'm not gonna talk your ear off. Check out the M416. Tell them I sent you. Get that 12% off. If you love this video, you're definitely gonna like this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay blasting, foam fam.